Everything is earned on this field. We're privileged to represent our flag, play for lacrosse state, and etch our name in history. 531 All-Americans, 30 Memorial Day weekend appearances, and 4 times at the Future Lacrosse. To be the best, you push further each day. And each time you take the field, your chance to be the best. This is Maryland Lacrosse.
Outright Big Ten regular season title on the line in a beautiful Saturday evening here from Seacoast Stadium in College Park, Maryland. Welcome to this edition of Maryland Men's Lacrosse on WMUC Sports. I'm Jackson Wantman. As the resurgent Terps, as you might call them now, after a 1-3 start to the season, Maryland is 4-1 over its last 5, including 2 straight wins against Michigan, and then an exciting overtime win at home just a week ago against then number 9 Ohio State. Now that ranking belongs to John Tillman's squad, who has seemingly found another gear, really found their identity late in the stretch. For the first month of the season, it seemed like Maryland Lacrosse might be on the ropes of missing the tournament. That might not be no longer the case. Like I said, number 19 Rutgers coming into town, and Ohio State beating Johns Hopkins today. Both these two teams going at it tonight sit at 2-1 in the conference, and a win would clinch the number 1 seed for them in the Big Ten tournament later this month. Now we start off with Rutgers, a tough loss to Michigan last week, 13-10. They're going to look to bounce back as they go in their black helmets, red jerseys, and white shorts. In the black helmets, white jerseys, and white shorts, it's going to be the Terps. Now for the starting lineups as we get set for face-off here for Rutgers. It's going to be Duke Richmond, Colin Kelly, Casey Mongillo. Rounding out the midfield and the defense, it's going to be Dylan Croft, Brian McKelvey, Connor Yudovich, excuse me. And in the attack, it's going to be Grayson Vorgang, Colin Cardillo, the superstar as well. And in net for the Scarlet Knights, it's going to be reigning goalie, part of the first team All-Big Ten, Carden Stoller. For the Terps, Eric Spanos, 8 goals. A couple weeks ago, he has been something to behold since coming back from injury. Boy, is John Tillman happy to have him back. Braden Urksa, Zach Whittier, Riley Reese, the hero against Ohio State. Leo Johnson, Michael Alexander, the pair of Yale transfers. Peter Lake rounding out the defense, and Elijah Stovall and Matt Higgins, the true freshman, finishing out the starting lineups for the Terps. Should be an exciting one on tap for you tonight as both teams get set for the face-off here. It's going to be Henry Dodge for the Terps, and one of the most impactful transfers not only for this Maryland team in the country, 67% on the season. As both teams get down, get set. Referee waiting to blow the whistle. It's going to be Jake Rainero for Rutgers. Ball is up. Henry Dodge has it in his stick, passes it off to Brian Ruppel, and we are off. Terps going right to left as Maryland is going to begin its clear. Ruppel facing a little bit of pressure. He's going to dump it off. Here's Alexander's Lake. Now over to Riley Reese, the overtime winner. He's going to launch it way downfield. Just a little too much mustard, out of bounds. Rutgers is going to recover. Now here's Carden Stoller. And Rutgers begins their clear. That's a failed clear from Maryland. Rutgers this season is first in the Big Ten. They're holding teams to the worst clear percentage in the conference at just 84%. Here's Grayson Vorgang. As Rutgers is going to get their subs and their first line onto the field. Here's Colin Zeller. Here's Duke Richmond, his first start of the season. Junior from Orange, New Jersey. Scarlet Knights are going to swing the ball around in the first minute. Here's Casey Mongillo. Up top, here's Vorgang. Down low, here's Zeller. Zeller comes around. He's got the long pole Alexander on him. Here's Mongillo. Down at X. Here's Cardilla. Over to Colin Kelly. Cardilla. Mongillo's got it. Richmond up top. 23 seconds left on the shot clock. Rutgers still trying to find a way inside here. Maryland playing a zone defense inside, and he scores. Grayson Vorgang. Casey Mongillo found just enough of an opening to slide it to the redshirt sophomore attackman, who nets his 22nd goal of the season. And just 90 seconds into this one, Rutgers takes a 1-0 lead. And we've seen one of the problems that Maryland has had this season. They've fallen behind in games early, and Vorgang did a really nice job kind of hovering around in the middle, found the soft spot in Maryland's zone. And it's the Scarlet Knights who lead this one 1-0. Rainero and Dodge back up for the faceoff. Dodge wins this one cleanly. He flies downfield. Is he a threat to shoot? He'll pass this one off this time to Eric Spanos. Number 1 for the Terps. That's 2 straight faceoff wins for Dodge. And on comes Matt Higgins out of the substitution box, along with Zach Whittier and Elijah Stovall. For the Terps. On the offensive end right now, they have their full squad, but on the defensive end, it's still no Will Schaller. Hasn't played since getting injured against March 14th against Virginia in that double overtime victory. Here's Braden Urksa now at GLE on his right hand, wrapping around, trying to signal Eric Spanos to come down, who's now at GLE. Dodges to his right and gets a bump from the short stick. Spanos now dodges to his left, running downfield, thought about the shot, won't, passes it to X to Whittier. Whittier swings it up top now. Here's Leo Johnson on his left hand. Is being closely trailed by this Rutgers defense. 12.5 minutes left. He's going to be forced to pass it off. Here's Stovall with it. On his left, trying to wrap around Ark. He shoots just to the left of Stoller. It's going to go out of bounds, staying with Maryland. 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Terps going to need to think of something quickly. Here's Spanos. Gets a screen from Stovall. Spanos passes it, shot saved. It's a rebound inside the crease, scored Maryland, and 2 flags fly. It was Braden Urksa who was at the right place at the right time, who's able to catch the rebound from the errant shot. And it's a tie game. Great move by Urksa getting inside, and inevitably also got pushed from behind by Connor Udovich. That penalty it's likely going to be wiped off, but nevertheless, it's a tie ball game here in College Park, and exactly the juice and the energy that Maryland needed. We're going to have an early timeout here from the referees. Looks like they're going to want to check something out. So both teams will go into their huddles. Some early fireworks here in the first 3 minutes or so. 12:10 left to go in the first quarter. It's a 1-1 game. We'll be back with you in a moment. You're listening to Maryland Men's Lacrosse on WMUC Sports. Both teams break their huddle out of the early review here from Sekou Stadium. Referees wanted to check out Braden Erks' goal. Looked like there might have been a potential crease violation there. And it looks like it might be wiped off here from the referees. It was very close, but even if it is wiped off, Maryland's going to have a penalty opportunity on the man up. It's going to be Connor Udovich in the box. So despite the goal officially being wiped off, Maryland will have a man-up opportunity. Terps 3 for 15 on the man-up this season. Rutgers in the box one defensively. Here's Chris Lyons making his first appearance for the Terps. Here's Eric Spanos now. Maryland swinging around X. Here's Erksa. Spanos up top, fires on his right and passes it inside, and Spencer Ford immediately ties it back up. The redshirt freshman sensation, a former 5 stars, really started to find his place in this Terrapin squad, and that's his 6th goal of the season. So just 9 official game seconds after Braden Erks' goal was wiped off, Spencer Ford gives it right back in with 11:52 left to go. It's a 1-1 game. Really nice job from Maryland, passing the ball around, finding the soft spot. Spanos looked like he wanted to shoot that one up top. When he had it, instead he gets it inside to Ford, who had a much better look. It's now Jonah Carrier out at the face-off X for Maryland. Jake Granero out for Rutgers again. Ball is down, there's a scrum, there's a fight for it. Ground ball still picked up by Udovich. He can't corral it. Ball is now near Brian Rupel's crease, and he's gonna grab it. And that's the first time that possession's been ruled, so Maryland starts off the game 3 for 3 from the face-off stripe. That's gonna be big for the Terps. Rupel gets it to Peter Lake. Peter Lake facing some pressure from Colin Cardilla. Here's Stovall with it. Pass from Rupel, he crosses midfield, and it's an offside violation. A quick unforced error from the Terps, and that's been a problem this season for Maryland. They're averaging 14 turnovers a game. And after a big face-off win, is really gifting Rutgers possession there. Scarlet Knights will start with it down low in the corner. And we pass back up from Grayson Vorgang to Duke Richmond. Richmond trying to get downhill. He has Stamos on him. Now he's got the senior A.J. Larkin. He's going to slide it to GLE. That's where we'll find Colin Cardilla. Cardilla on his right. That's it to Colin Zeller. Zeller has Riley Reese on him. Tries to get downhill. Right to left dodge. Slides it off. It's Mongillo with it now. Mongillo has a short stick matchup on George Stamos, but the ball is quickly knocked out by Riley Reese. He's going to corral his own ground ball. He runs it into the offensive end, but slips. And the ball's going to go out of bounds. After a great cause turnover from Reese, he trips on his own feet. And that's 2 straight possessions where it looked like Maryland could build some momentum, and they give the ball right back to Rutgers. Almost throw it away. We'll start with it now. A flag flies in the air. Multiple flags flying. It looks like Rutgers will have a man up at the next dead ball, so the mistakes piling on for the Terps. Here's J.J. Aiello now. Part of the all Big Ten freshman team last season. He's going to pass it off to Vorgang. Vorgang inside, the pass to Evan Large goes awry. Rutgers is able to pick it back up though, Aiello in his left hand. Slides it to Colin Kelly. Kelly on his right being trailed by Reese. Fires shot too high, out of bounds. And we will have a penalty opportunity for the Scarlet Knights with 9:24 left to go. And we'll see who goes into the box for the Terps. Looks like it's going to be Michael Alexander. Finds his way out. In fact, Alexander goes out. Braden Urksa also taking a knee. But nevertheless, it'll be a man-up opportunity for Rutgers. On the season are 6 of 16, so Maryland's going to go to that man-down unit, which normally included Riley Reese. Now Reese part of that defense and no Will Schaller, so it's going to be Trevor Owens taking his spot. Looks like the penalty officially being awarded to Urksa. Inside, the pass goes awry. Rupel's got it. Colin Cardilla tried to get it down low, but Maryland, a big opportunity to kill this penalty. Here's George Stamos with it now. Trying to cross midfield on his own. He will. Now Rutgers, with the man up, will likely double the ball, which they did to Stamos, but Zach Whittier is going to come off for the Terps. He's going to have his own opportunity. Maryland is officially able to kill that penalty. Really, really big. Maryland avoiding more mistakes. Down low at X. Here comes Johnson. Johnson, question mark, wrapping around in a yard sale from Dylan Groff. Incredibly impressive, came in with 15 caused turnovers, make it 16. Now here's Ben McKelvey on the clear off the pass from Stoller. He's going to get it back. Number 92 in net. He's going to send it downfield, and a violation. Both teams with some early mistakes later on. And here comes Urksa trying to push the tempo for Maryland. Here's Stovall with it up top. Stovall passes it in to Chris Lyons, who's just checked in. Lyons on his left hand, gets inside at GLE, passes it to Johnson at X. Johnson, Stovall on his left, coming around at about the 25-yard line. Working on a short stick matchup with Dylan Finder. Here's Zach Whittier. Whittier, he's found his way to X. Quick pass inside! And it's deflected off Stoller. A really nice shot from Chris Lyons, excuse me. Here's Spanos. Urksa. Stovall with it now. On his right, Maryland 30 seconds left in the shot clock. About 7:15 left to go in the game. Brian Brecht imploring the refs make some sort of offensive foul on Maryland. I don't think he's going to get it. Here's Spanos. Passes it off. Here's Johnson. Johnson on his right finds his way to X. 10 seconds left for the Terps. Here's Lyons. Fires from a little ways out. It's deflected off the Rutgers defense. They're going to try to pick it up. There's a ground ball and a fight for it. It's going to be picked up by Maryland. And they're imploring the referees to change the shot clock, and they're still going to call it a violation. And Rutgers possession, so at the 10-yard line, a little bit of sloppy lacrosse happening early in this first quarter. 6:48 left to go here. It's a 1-1 ball game. Spencer Ford with the first one of the day for the Terps. after an early goal from Grayson Vorgang. As Rutgers will start their clear. Here's Stoller with it now. Stoller, an overarching pass. He's going to get it past midfield to Dylan Finder. Addicts now is Colin Kelly. Kelly gets it to Vorgang. Vorgang back to Kelly. Kelly to Cardilla. Cardilla to Casey Mongilla. Joining his second year at the program. Originally began his career at Merrimack. Here's Colin Zeller. Getting downfield on his left hand, blows by Thomas Gravino. The shot saved by Ruppel. And a quick clear from the Terps. Here comes Trey Fleece. Single hand cradle on his right. Running downfield. Passes it off to Leo Johnson. Maryland resetting their offensive shape, and seeing this kind of pattern from Maryland this season. They can get the ball out in transition, but oftentimes in backtrack to be a little more safe on offense. I think with the amount of firepower this team has, transition offense could be a lot better. Here's Aiden Aiken off the pass from John Traley. Aiken to Urksa. Urksa on his right, gets a screen from Aiken, wraps around the left post. Johnson shoots top right, he scores! Leo Johnson nets his 22nd goal of the year, his 39th point of the season, and the team leader in goals extends that mark. Off the pass from Braden Urksa, a beautiful left-handed shot into the right corner. And with 5.5 minutes left to go, we will go to timeout with Maryland taking a 2-1 lead over the Scarlet Knights. You're listening to Maryland Men's Lacrosse on WMEC Sports.
UCLA, Rutgers, Illinois, Wisconsin, and State. Season tickets are on sale now. Start at just $130. Plus, if you purchase between now and Maryland Football Spring Showcase on April 25th, you'll receive an invitation to take part in an exclusive season ticket member experience that includes free food, suite and fuel access, and the opportunity to walk under the King's Tunnel. Purchase your tickets today by visiting usturks.com/Turksville26 or call 301-314-7060.
As both teams break the huddle after the first media timeout of the day. The second, excuse me, if you want to count the earlier review on the Braden Urksa goal that eventually got ruled off. Maryland holding 2-1 lead over Rutgers with 5.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. After goals from Spencer Ford and just now Leo Johnson. Jackson Wantman here with you on the call tonight for WMEC Sports. It's a beautiful Saturday evening, but a lot to play for both of these teams. As I said earlier in the broadcast, if you're just joining us, with Johns Hopkins, or with Ohio State's win over Johns Hopkins today, whoever wins this tilt tonight will claim sole possession of the Big Ten regular season title as Jonah Carrier wins another faceoff for the Terps, who are 4 for 4 at the stripe. Here's Peter Lake with it. Long pass to Riley Reese. Gets it to Brian Ruppel. Ruppel having to backtrack. Plenty of pressure right there from Colin Kelly. He's able to cross midfield. Here's A.J. Larkin. An open net. We know he likes those. Pass it off to Spanos. It's saved by Cardin Stoller with a huge stop. It looked like A.J. Larkin had the redshirt junior goalie dead to rights. Instead, he passes it off. Rutgers is able to get it across, and they're going to be on offense now. Here's Colin Cardilla at about the 30-yard line. Passes up to Evan Large. Jogs his way downfield. He's making his way to GLE. And that's where he'll be trailed by Eric Kolar on his left hand at X. Trying to wrap around the crease, backtracks, passes it out to JJ Aiello. Aiello trying to swing it around. Here's Cardilla. He's got Lake. Quick pass inside to Aiello, who's tied up by Riley Reese. Excellent defense of number 17. No foul called. Stamos is able to come up with it. Gets it to Brian Ruppel, and another clear for the Terps. We've hit 4 minutes left to go in the first frame. Terps now going to reset their offense, get some subs onto the field. We need this third line midfield, John Traley and Aiden Aiken. Aiken's got it right at about the Maryland M. Jack Schultz is going to come in for Eric Kolar. The offensive middies in for John Tillman. Aiken gets downhill, thought about shooting, won't. Here's Leo Johnson on his left hand, passes it off to Jack Schultz, ball hits the ground, he's able to recover. Schultz on his right, sends it down to Urksa at X. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Urksa wraps around, shoots off the top of the net. It's going to go out of bounds, staying with Maryland. This is going to get it in the end zone, right at about the corner where the pylon would be if the football team was on this field. Here's Urksa now at X, wrapping around the left post, passes it up to Aiken, fakes his shot, comes around. 18 seconds left to play in this possession. Here's John Traley at X. It's a short stick matchup, and Joe Youngerkiss. Maryland now 5 seconds left, needs something here. Here's Schultz, ball's deflected. Traley's gonna have to dump it. And it's gonna be a shot clock violation. Excellent defense from Rutgers. 2:45 left to go in the first quarter. Maryland leads 2-1. Rutgers is going to begin their clear. Here's a long ball to Bennett. Rafalian, excuse me. His 9th appearance of the season. Here's Vorgang. Lodex to Colin Kelly. Here's Cardilla. Top now for Rutgers is Colin Zeller. Rutgers taking a passive approach here, trying to swing it around, let everyone touch the ball. We approach 2 minutes left in the first quarter here. Maryland clinging to a 1-0 lead is Mongillo. Over to Rafalian. Rafalian being trailed by Thomas Gravino. He's at GLE now. Vorgang at X. Vorgang, Cardilla. 30 seconds left on the shot clock for the Scarlet Knights. Trying to bounce back after a loss versus Michigan. Here's Mongillo. Slides it down low to Vorgang. Vorgang surveying the rest of the field. Takes a couple cradles, sidearm pass up top. The clock is ticking for Rutgers. 13 seconds left. Here's Cardilla getting downfield. Rafalian shoots, ball's deflected, goes out of bounds. Rutgers is going to have 7 seconds here. We'll see if they try to get a shot off. Here's Colin Kelly. Kelly, and he's just going to dump it in the opposite side of the field. It's coming out of the far back of the end zone. It's going to be Thomas Gravino. Minute 25 left to go. Maryland can hold to the last shot now. We'll see if John Tillman elects to do that. Here's Gravino over to Peter Lake. Lake to Matt Higgins. Higgins is able to cross midfield. He's running up the left sideline near where each player bench is. He's got it now at GLE. It's his way to about the 20-yard line. That's where we'll find Eric Spanos, and Maryland subs are going to come on. Here's Elijah Stobaugh with the ball in his stick. Chris Lyons also coming in from the substitution box. Under a minute left to play here in the first quarter. Here's Stobaugh. He's got Joe Youngerkiss. Youngerkiss, mid-season second-team All-American. With Colin Cardilla made the third team, and Ryan Splain an honorable mention. So 3 mid-season All-Americans for Brian Breck's squad. His 15th season at the helm. Here's Higgins from the end zone. Makes his way to X. On his left hand, wraps around the crease. Can't sneak it by Stoller, but he's able to get it off the post. Pass, Spanos. Spanos trying to get downhill here. 15 seconds left. Spanos, excellent defense by Ben McKelvey. Here's Stovall. Stovall to Johnson. Maryland doesn't have a lot of time here. Ursa tries to sneak it by with Matt Higgins. Clock is going to run down, and that'll do it, likely for the first 15 minutes here in College Park. The ball went out of bounds with 1.5 seconds left. So it'll be Elijah Stovall who will probably toss the ball in the air off this whistle. It's intercepted by Stoller, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play here in College Park. In a game with so much to play for, both of these teams playing with elite physicality and effort. But after one, it's Maryland leading Rutgers 2-1. We'll take a short break and be back with you for the second quarter here on WMBC Sports.
Maryland men's lacrosse would like to take a moment to recognize and thank our senior managers for their dedication to the program. Happy Senior Day to Jack, Dan, Julia, and Danny. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to Maryland men's lacrosse.
Second quarter about to get underway here from Sekou Stadium in College Park as the number 9 Terps lead the number 19 Rutgers Scarlet Knights 2-1 after the first frame. Just 3 total goals in this one. Nonetheless, some exciting moments. Both teams had their little moments of sloppiness, but overall, Maryland is getting the looks they want defensively, not letting Rutgers get comfortable. So Henry Dodge back out for the face-off now. Terps going left to right, Rutgers right to left. Jake Raniero over 4 is a 100% success rate from the stripe for the Terps in the first quarter, and Dodge pushes off Raniero. It's going to be a violation on Rutgers, so it's going to be 5 for 5 for Maryland. Dodge is going to be 3 for 3. Jonah Carrier 2 for 2. Terps dominating at the X. Here's George Stamos to Eric Spanos. Spanos to Matt Higgins. Higgins is able to slide around. They're at the 40-yard line. He's going to slide it to Chris Lyons. Lyons has got now at about the 30-yard line, making his way to GLE on his right hand. He's going to pass it to X, where he'll find Urksa. Up top. Excuse me, here's Matt Higgins with it. Trying to cut inside. Instead, he's going to find his way to GLE. Maryland swinging it around here, about 30 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Here's Spanos, being trailed by the short stick midfielder TJ Conley. Spanos at X, trying to wrap around the right side. Here's Higgins to Leo Johnson. Most recent goal scorer for the Terps, trying to find his way in front of crease. He's going to pass it to Urksa, who drops the pass. Ball's on the ground. Urksa's able to pick it back up. With 12 seconds left, he finds the ball on the ground again, picks it up again. Maryland needs to find something quickly here. Here's Spanos, 5 seconds left. Spanos surveying inside. It's a wild pass, and it's going to go to the back of the end zone for the Terps' second shot clock violation of the game. Maryland using up the whole 90 seconds to start the second quarter, but can't get anything out of it. And Carden Stoller is going to start the clear for Rutgers. Scarlet Knights trying to get it past midfield. And Stoller is going to make his way across midfield. We see goalies do this from time to time. It's a risk that they love to take. Here's Colin Cardilla with it. He finds his way to X. Rutgers now running in their subs. Up top, here's J.J. Aiello. Aiello now with Eric Kolar, the short stick midfielder on him. Here's Evan Large with it, the true freshman, getting downhill on his left hand. Large quickly double teamed by Reese and Stamos. Cardilla gets a screen on his left around the right post. He's gonna back out, thought about getting it to Vorgang. Instead he's gonna dump it down low. Here's Aiello. And X now still with Kolar on him, 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Evan Large. Large has Alexander on him. Here's Grayson Vorgang, who drops the ball. A great pick from Riley Reese. And here comes Maryland. Here's A.J. Larkin. Does he shoot it again? He does. He scores! There's going to be no denying the senior LSM this time. And A.J. Larkin extends the Maryland lead to 3-1. A great cause turnover by Riley Reese, who's been a monster so far early in this one. And with 12-14 left, Larkin nets his 5th of the season to give the Terps the lead. It's exactly what Maryland needs here, turning defense into offense. They're able to get out in transition, and when A.J. Larkin is moving, there's not really a whole lot that could stop him. Back out at the stripe, it's Dodge and Reinero again, and Reinero, the sophomore Fogo, 43% on the season. And Brian Brecht hasn't trotted out any of his other Fogos this game. This is going to be a ground ball. Ball's on the ground still. Nice job by Trevor Owens to knock the ball away for Dodgefield to pick it back up, and that's the 6th win for the Terps in as many attempts. Eric Spanos with it now. He's going to get it to Urksa. At about the 20-yard line, Urksa's going to make his way back up. Another midfield line for the Terps comes on. Here's Aiden Aiken at the Maryland M. He's going to pass it off to Spencer Ford, who makes his way down the right sideline, gets it to X. Now it's Leo Johnson. Johnson gets it inside to Ford, deflected off Stoller. It was a nice shot, tried to sneak it into the bottom left corner. Ball goes out of bounds, but Maryland recovers. It's going to be a dump here. We'll see what the referee is signaling, and it looks like it's going to be a timeout here on the field. So with 11.5 minutes left to go here in the second frame, a transition goal from A.J. Larkin gives Maryland a 3-1 lead, extends it to 2 here from Seacoast Stadium. We'll be back with you in a moment here on WMEC Sports. So as both teams break the huddle here, it was Brian Brecht who used his first timeout of the game, trying to get his team reset. As Rutgers trails Maryland 3-1 here on WMEC Sports. Jackson Wantman, happy to have you in here from wherever you're listening. A little more on Brian Brecht in his 15th season at the helm in Piscataway. including this season, 114-99 career record. But 27-31 in his career in the Big Ten, trying to get Rutgers back to the big dance for the first time since 2022. And Rutgers made the Final Four and trying to get the program's just third win over Maryland all time. Second win came last year when Rutgers upset the then number 2 Terps. As Maryland comes out of the timeout. Here is Zach Whittier at X. Here's Urksa. Maryland swinging it around. Here's Leo Johnson. Johnson to Chris Lyons. Whittier to Urksa. Spanos with it. Spanos on his right hand. Push-up has a short stick midfield matchup at TJ Colivy, very physical. It's a wild pass over the stick of Urksa, who tries to keep it in. He will. The ball's in the air. It's picked up by Rutgers. And they're going to cross midfield here. It was Joe Youngerkiss who was able to get the wild ball. Ryan Splain is able to get it past midfield, and Rutgers is back on offense. Here's Colin Cardilla, right in front of his own sideline. It's Casey Mongillo. Mongillo slides it to Duke Richmond, the ground ball pass. Richmond, starting from the Maryland M, comes downfield. It's quickly met by this Maryland defense. Maryland really being stout defensively early on, as here's Colin Zeller. Rutgers now at X, 10 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Here's a shot from Rutgers, saved by Brian Ruppel. Maryland now on another clear. They're able to get it down midfield. And another shot by Trey Fleece in coast-to-coast transition. A flag flies. Rutgers just touched it, and Maryland will have another man-up opportunity. So with 9:53 to go here, Maryland will have an opportunity in the power play. Both teams each getting quality looks. On the goal, he was Grayson Vorgang, took the shot for Rutgers. And then it was Trey Fleece who came downhill, took the shot from Maryland. But the Terps are going to have a man up. It'll be Casey Mongillo in the penalty box. Maryland now, it'll be Elijah Stobaugh, starting from GLE, closest to the Maryland bench. Ref blows the whistle. Stobaugh passes it to Spanos, gets it back to Stobaugh. Stobaugh to Urksa at X. Spencer Ford in front of crease. And similar rules to where he was when they scored the last man-up goal. Here's Leo Johnson. Johnson to Urksa. Urksa to Lyons. Spanos to Stobaugh. Stobaugh to Johnson. It's only a 30-second penalty, so it's almost up here for the Terps. Excuse me, the Scarlet Knights. Here's Urksa. And the penalty is cleared. Joe Youngerkiss back in. And Spanos through contact scores. Spanos found his way inside. And boy, what a tear has the Maryland #1 been on lately. He nets his 17th of the season. And Maryland gets a 4-1 lead on Rutgers now with 9:15 left to go. Terps never wavered, didn't really get the looks they wanted to in the power play, but also didn't force anything. And I think that's really important. Sometimes teams in the power play, they just want to fire off shots simply because they can. Maryland was patient, got the look they wanted to, even if that meant an extra man had to be on the field defensively. Here's Jonah Carrier back out for the Terps in the faceoff. That's another win. This time it's against Brock Damaris. Terps 7 for 7 in faceoffs today. Carrier is able to pass it off to George Stamos at the Maryland M. Terps offense gets their start. Here's Stobaugh. Carrier staying on the field. He's going to come off now. He's going to cross midfield to allow Chris Lyons to come on. And I'm sure Zach Whittier looking like he'll make an appearance. Coming out of the box as Carrier makes his way off. Whittier's got it now. Swings it to Braden Urksa. Halfway through the second quarter, it's 4-1 Maryland. Urksa, the slide came quickly, passes off to Lyons, who shoots, and it gets under the legs of Carden Stoller. Another goal for Maryland. Boy, have they found their groove in this second quarter. It And with just 8.5 minutes left to play before halftime, Terps already have 3 goals. And it's a 5-1 lead for John Tillman's squad. As Chris Lyons nets his 15th of the season. The Terps really finding their groove here, and just great all-around offense. Braden Urksa, 2nd assist of the game, had his goal wiped off. But boy, is he finding ways to contribute. It's his 12th and 13th assist that he's found tonight. It's Carrier and Reinero now back out quickly for the face-off. Its Terps have been perfect from the stripe. This time Reinero's going to get the ground ball. It's going to be the first face-off win for Rutgers today. As they're going to start their clear, here's Stoller. Stoller surveying the field. A long pass overhead. It's going to get to Brian McKelvey. Now Rutgers has it on offense. Adex now out to GLE as Vorgang. Vorgang, Evan Large, and JJ Aiello checking in. Aiello's got it. He's got the short stick Eric Kolar on him. Down low, here's Colin Cardilla. He's been quiet today. He's got Peter Lake trailing him. Gets a screen. Cardilla thought about going on the crease, wraps around X. Instead, he passes it off. A quick shot won't go. Evan Large is able to recover. At X now, he's got Stamos. Wraps around, here's Cardilla. Surveying, spinning. Now at about the 10-yard line, he's gonna pass it out to Brady Cardilla, his brother. Now at X, there's Evan Large. Large wraps around, passes it to Colin Kelly. 4 seconds left, Rutgers on the shot clock. They're gonna have to get one off. It's a wild shot, and it's gonna be a shot clock violation on Rutgers. Really nice defense from Maryland. 7:07 left to play here in the second 15. Maryland holds on to a 5-1 lead. They scored 3 unanswered this quarter. It's an open net. And a wild shot right there from Eric Kolar. Saw the open net, took the opportunity. Maryland was closest to it anyway, so they'll retain possession here. It's Leo Johnson with it. Leo Johnson to Jack Schultz. Schultz is going to get it to Aiden Aiken, who's also just checked in. Aiken spin to his left, a nice dodge, gets by Brady Cardilla. He shoots, he scores! Aiden Aiken off the pass from Jack Schultz. And another goal for the Terps to make it a 4-goal swing in the second quarter. It's a 6-1 lead for Maryland. With 6:34 left, Aiden Aiken nets his 5th on the year. And it has been all red, black, and gold this quarter. Aiden Aiken, just a beautiful dodge. Able to get by his man. The unassisted goal. Maryland piling it on the Scarlet Knights this quarter. Aiken scored his first goal of the season against Notre Dame way back in February. And he's one of those guys who's seen his role increase this season. His dodge shoots the ball back off the face-off, picks it up himself, and it's another face-off win for the Terps. Here's Brian Ruppel with it. And a big thing for Maryland this game, each time that they scored a goal, they basically got the ball back off the face-off. They just keep getting possession. It's how they've been able to extend this lead against Rutgers, and a wild pass from Urksa is dropped. Ball still on the ground. There's a fight for it. It ends up in the stick of TJ Conley, who tries to shoot the ball downfield. He was harassed by multiple Maryland players. Ruppel decks Colin Kelly trying to get it back, and he's able to recover. So Terps gonna have to restart their clear, but they also have a reset shot clock. Downfield, here's Trey Fleece. Running past the Maryland Emmys at the 30-yard line. He's gonna dump it off. Here's Eric Spanos now. Holding still, waiting for subs to come on and to quarterback this offense. Jack Schultz closing his arms together, signaling some type of play, directing traffic. He's got it to Leo Johnson. Up top, here's Aiken. Here's Eric Spanos with it. Spanos, Aiken to Johnson. Johnson slides it to Schultz at about the 10-yard line. It X's Braden Urksa. Here's Eric Spanos, back to Aiken. Johnson, backtracking, passes it to Urksa at X. Urksa finding an outlet, it's gonna be Johnson. Thought about going inside, Schultz won't, instead passes it to Spencer Ford, and it's saved by Stoller. Relatively beginner save for the redshirt junior. And Rutgers has got it way downfield now. Charging is number 13, Younger Kiss. His shot is gonna go wide. Out of bounds, Rutgers maintains possession with 4:51 left to play, and it's gonna be a timeout, Maryland. John Tillman wants to talk things over defensively and get his guys set. This last 4 minutes and 51 seconds in the second quarter, it's been all Maryland. They lead 6-1. We'll be back with you at the conclusion of this timeout. You're listening to Maryland Men's Lacrosse here on WMBC Sports. As Maryland's first charge timeout comes to an end here from Sekou Stadium. The Terrapin faithful once again in strong numbers. They're loving what they're seeing from John Tillman's squad. 4 unanswered goals from Maryland this corner, 6 unanswered goals overall since Rutgers took the lead early in the first quarter. Giving Maryland that 6-1 lead that we have right now with the last 5 minutes left or so. In the second quarter, the winner of this game clinches the Big Ten regular season title. They'll have sole possession for whichever one of these squads remains victorious after the last horn. So it'll be Rutgers possession from the back of the end zone. It's going to be Colin Kelly, passes it off to Grayson Forgang. Here's Colin Cardilla. Up top now is Duke Richmond. Richmond dodges to his right hand as Thomas Gravino square in front of him. Here's Casey Mongillo. Mongillo's got the long stick matchup, and Larkin tries to get a near crease shot. It won't go. It'll go out of bounds, staying with Rutgers. 44 seconds left on the shot clock from the corner of the end zone. Here's Grayson Forgang to Cardilla. Cardilla gets a screen from Colin Zeller. Ball's down, ball's on the ground on the wild pass. Reese thought he got a stick on it, and it's gonna go off on Grayson Forgang. Reese takes it out of bounds. Here's Brian Ruppel. Maryland's gonna start there clear. Here come the Terps. Here's Thomas Gravino. He's got it at about the 20-yard line. Gravino gets it to Spanos. Spanos to Larkin. He's already got one, thought about 2 with that shot. It's gonna go wide. The closest to it was Stoller. With about 3:51 left, Rutgers is gonna get the ball back, trying to get something to close this deficit here. Here's Joe Youngerkiss. Youngerkiss to Brady Cardilla. Slides it to his brother Colin. Colin Cardilla down low to Colin Kelly. Quite a few Collins on this Rutgers squad. They all make an impact. Here's Kelly. Closely trailed by Alexander. The bounce shot goes wide. J.J. Aiello was at X. He'll take it out of the end zone, staying Rutgers ball. Aiello dodges on Gravino at X on his right hand, trying to wrap around crease, passes it back out to Colin Cardilla. Trying to get downhill on his left hand. Cardilla trying to cut in front of Rupo, he's cut off, instead passes it out. Inside, thought about a pass to Vorgang. Here's Colin Kelly. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Kelly being picked up by Gravino. He's going to take a few steps out, try again. Right hand. Here's Brady Cardilla. Down low. Here's Colin Cardilla with it. Lake playing excellent defense on Rutgers' top goal scorer. The shot from Brady Cardilla won't go, but it's picked up by Evan Large. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Large has got to do something quick here. He's going to pass it out. Brady Cardilla shoots right to the chest of Brian Ruppel. Not the Maryland defense forcing Rutgers in. So look, they probably want back, but here's Braden Erkson now. 2:19 left to go in the second quarter. Maryland holding a 6-1 lead here on WMUC Sports. Maryland looking to make it a 3-game win streak after a 1-3 start to the season. And here's Elijah Stobaugh with it. Stobaugh surveying the field. He's going to slide it to Leo Johnson. Johnson going to kick it to Zach Whittier. Whittier flicks it back to Johnson. Johnson, Stobaugh thought about the shot, switches to his right hand, passes it back to Leo Johnson. Johnson at X. Here's Matt Higgins. Higgins on his right, gets it to Spanos. Spanos, Stobaugh. Stobaugh back to Leo Johnson. Here's Higgins again at X. He's going to get it to Johnson. Back to Higgins. Higgins back to Johnson, playing a little back and forth. Here's Zach Whittier. 15 seconds left in the shot clock. Just under 90 seconds left to play in the half. Here's Johnson. Passes it out to Whittier. Spanos shoots, scores! 8 seconds left on the shot clock. No problem for Eric Spanos. The Terps stay composed. With 80 seconds left to play, it's a 7-1 game now in favor of Maryland. Spanos with time and room converts for his second goal of the game, his 18th of the season. Off the pass from Zach Whittier, who nabs his 8th assist. It's now 7 unanswered goals for the Terps, and it's exactly how Maryland lost some of these games, is that they let teams go on these big runs against them. And now it's Maryland doing the damage. Here's Henry Dodge and Jake Greenarrow back out for the faceoff. 80 seconds left on the dot. Dodge wins the clamp, picks up his own ground ball. Terps have lost just one faceoff this quarter. And John Tillman with an emphatic high five to Henry Dodge as him and Eric Spanos hype up the crowd. But John Tillman using his second and last timeout of the half to talk things over with his team. A minute 11 left to go in regulation in the second quarter. 75 seconds left on the shot clock. Maryland with a commanding 7-1 lead. We'll be back with you here in a moment on WMUC Sports. .71 seconds left to play here in the first half of play between Rutgers and Maryland. And it's the Terps dominating the second frame with 5 goals to 0 for Rutgers. It's John Tillman's squad trying to clinch a Big Ten regular season title after, truthfully, it looked like it might be a lost season for the Terps. Under February 28th, Terps lost to Notre Dame to fall to 1-3 on the season. Since then, it's been 4 wins to just 1 loss. for Maryland. And now Maryland can hold it to the last, can have the last shot here, excuse me, in terms of time and clock. 60 seconds left to play here now. Maryland going to take their time. They're definitely going to want to hold it till the very end, take the last shot, and go into the locker room with at least a 6-goal lead. And Zach Whittier standing at the 40-yard line. Clearly the play that John Tillman drew up in the huddle. Called for a certain amount of time, 40 seconds left. Joe Youngerkiss not even bothering to put any pressure on Zach Whittier, not trying to force the ball out at all. Both teams seem pretty content with this being the last possession. Eric Spanos thought he was coming up for a screen. Zach Whittier shuffles to his right. He goes downfield now. The play is initiated. Whittier at X, wraps around the crease. He shoots, blocked by Stoller. A nice deflection. 13 seconds left though. Terps are going to retain it. Here's Braden Urksa. Urksa gets a screen from Whittier. Running around X, running around the crease. He shoots, he scores! Braden Urksa, how about it? Takes matters into his own hands. And with 7.7 seconds left, Braden Urksa wraps around the crease and gives Maryland an 8-1 lead. Urksa's first goal of the game redeems himself after having his first wiped off. That's his 11th of the season. After the initial play from Maryland, the shot was deflected. Not a bad draw by John Tillman. Maryland still able to convert. Now with 7 seconds left, it's going to be Carrier out for the Terps to take the face-off. It's out. It's in the possession of Maryland. 3 seconds left. Larkin is going to send a long shot. It's going to be deflected. And the whistle blows on the first half of play here at Sekou Stadium. It has been all Maryland so far in the first 30 minutes. After a quiet 2-1 lead after the first frame, Maryland dominated in the second quarter, ripping off 6 goals. Rutgers just struggled offensively. An entire 15. They haven't really found their rhythm all game, as Maryland's going to look to continue that momentum into the second half with the Big Ten regular season championship on the line. We've reached halftime here from Sekou Stadium in College Park. Maryland leads Rutgers 8-1. Jackson Wantman on WMUC Sports. We'll be back with you for the second half. 30 minutes down, 30 minutes left to play. Here in a showdown that will determine the winner of the Big Ten regular season championship. Here from Seacoast Stadium in College Park, Jackson Wantman on the call here. Happy to have you from wherever you're listening to on WMUC Sports. It was a dominant first half for John Tillman's squad as they start the third quarter with an 8-1 lead. It was a 6-0 run in the second quarter. Is unanswered from Maryland. All goals have been unanswered since they went down 1-0 early in that first quarter. Grayson Vorgang, the lone goal scorer for the Scarlet Knights. Rutgers just hasn't really been able to find anything offensively, but to me the biggest story of this game has been the faceoffs. Maryland has won 10 of 11 so far tonight. Henry Dodge 6 of 6, Jonah Carrier 4 of 5. He'll be taking the opening faceoff against Jake Rainero, who's 1 for 10 on the day. Boy, has that played a massive role into this game. Maryland continues to get possession. But we're set for an exciting next 30 minutes. We know anything can happen in college athletics. As the ball's on the ground, Rainero looks like he's going to be able to pick it up, gets a swing from Carrier. Nevertheless, Rutgers possession. Here comes Joe Youngerkiss. And he'll dump it off down to X. Here's Colin Kelly as Rutgers tries to find some life on offense. Here's Colin Cardilla, the main guy for this Rutgers offense. They're going to need him big time. They want to make this comeback. Here's Colin Zeller from the Maryland M on the same hand dodge with his left. Up top now. Here's number 2, Colin Kelly. Excuse me, it's Casey Mongillo. Now here's Evan Large with it. Large dodges to his right. Pops back out, passes it off to Colin Zeller. Now here comes Rutgers again. It's Bennett Rafalian. Rafalian down to Mongillo. Mongillo passes it way back out. Yeah, to Colin Zeller, who tries to get downfield. Rutgers starting a lot of their dodge on the 50-yard line. That pass is intercepted by Riley Reese. Reese charging downfield, passes it to Spanos. What can Maryland do in transition offense? Spanos is now being near triple teamed as Maryland tries to get some subs onto the field. Spanos runs around the entire field. He's able to find some free space as Maryland subs come on. Spanos gets it to Stobaugh. Stobaugh to Matt Higgins. As Zach Whittier also checking in for Maryland. Higgins thought about going to number 13, he won't. Here's Elijah Stobaugh off the pass. Stobaugh dodges to his right, gets it to X. That's where he'll find Braden Urksa. Braden Urksa spins back. Here's Stobaugh coming around the crease on the left post. Here's Leo Johnson. He's got a couple today. Urksa passes deflected and knocked down by Connor Udovich. A good defensive stop for Rutgers. They make their way past midfield. Here's Colin Kelly. Kelly gets it to Cardilla at X. Colin Cardilla gets it to Mongillo. Mongillo to Ryan Parker. Here's JJ Aiello. Aiello dumps it off to X. That's where he'll find Colin Cardilla, who gets a screen from Aiello. Cardilla back to Aiello, tries to wrap around, just not good enough of an angle. And it's right into the net of Brian Ruppel. Maryland will begin their clear now. Here's Peter Lake. Lake sends a long ball downfield because no goalie in net. Stoller came out of it. It's going to go out of bounds, staying Maryland possession. Works is going to get it to Eric Spanos. Spanos, the pass to Zach Whittier. Chris Lyons and Elijah Stobaugh checking in for the Terps. No stoppages yet this quarter. We're through 3 minutes. Maryland leads Rutgers 8-1. Here's Stobaugh. Trying to find an angle at net. Instead, he passes it to Leo Johnson. Johnson on his right hand, wraps around, pass. Whittier shoots and scores! The quick catch and shoot. It was in his stick for as fast as you could probably snap your fingers. And just like that, Maryland's got a 9-1 lead with 11:40 left to go in the third quarter. Just excellent offense from Maryland, surgical. And they've extended their lead to 8. And Zach Whittier has a goal and an assist now in his game. It's his 8th of the season. And Maryland continues to dominate. The momentum continually staying on the side of the Terps. As it's Dodge and Reinero out for the faceoff. Maryland going right to left. Dodge is going to pick up the faceoff clean. On his left, has to run away from some defenders, but he's able to pass it off to Thomas Gravino. Another faceoff win for Maryland as Jack Schultz will check in, along with Spencer Ford and Aiden Aiken. Here's Schultz now trying to quarterback the offense. He's got the bird's eye view. He's going to get it to Aiden Aiken. Aiken being guarded by Younger Kiss. To Schultz now. Here's Leo Johnson with it. Johnson on his right hand. Spins back, shoots on his left, shot too high. Spanos is the closest one to it, so it'll stay with Maryland. 11 minutes left on the dot in the quarter. He will start from the corner. Maryland will have 42 seconds, so plenty of time on the shot clock. Spanos on his left, passes it off to Aiden Aiken. Aiken up top. Here's Johnson. Johnson trying to get downhill on his left hand. Bumps off with the shoulder. He has a short stick match. We'll see if he takes advantage. Tried to get the pass inside, but it's dropped. Spencer Ford couldn't corral it. Rutgers has got it on offense now. Here's Evan Large. At X now is Colin Kelly. Here's Colin Cardilla with it. Cardilla. Up top to Colin Zeller. Some Colin action here. We'll see if they can convert. From the Maryland M, Zeller trying to direct Mongillo downfield. Thomas Gravino got in the way. He had to back up with the pass. Here's Mongillo. Running his way towards the end zone. 10 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Maryland leads 9-1. Here's Colin Cardilla. Zeller behind net. Gets it to Duke Richmond. Richmond passes it to Evan Large. Large switches right to left, back to his right hand. Spins around, trying to find some space. Riley Reese hounding him. He's going to get it back to Richmond. 20 seconds left for Rutgers to get something going here. Richmond gets the screen, but backs up. Here's Colin Zeller. 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Zeller thought about shooting with his left. Won't. Instead, Rutgers still surveying here. It's Casey Mongillo is going to have to take the shot. Under a lot of pressure, ball ends up on the ground. Into the stick of A.J. Larkin. Suffocating defense from Maryland. Here's Thomas Gravino. Thought about a long pass. Instead, he's going to get it past the midfield line himself. He's going to pass it to Urksa. Comes around just in front of the Maryland M. Maryland now waiting till their defensive midfielders get off to sub in their offensive middies. So here comes Matt Higgins. Higgins now at the Maryland M. Chris Lyons checks into the game. Higgins gets downfield. Backs up, switches to his left. Long pass to Lyons. He's at about the 25-yard line near the left hash. Here's Zach Whittier. Left hash at the 35-yard line. Most recent Maryland goal scorer. Dodges from left to right. A wild pass is going to get away from Lyons. Can he save it? He will. Ball's going to go off his stick, though. He only saved it temporarily. And it's a Maryland turnover. Another unforced error from Maryland sees Rutgers get a free possession back. Here's Carden Stoller with it. Stoller, the long ball to Connor Udovich, who's going to get it to Younger Kiss. Younger Kiss has got it now. He's going to pass it down to Colin Cardilla. At X now is Mongillo. Sees Colin Kelly with it. Here's Grayson Vorgang, the only goal scorer for Brian Breck's squad today. Here's Brady Cardilla. Gets the screen, comes around X, dumps it to Vorgang, takes the shot, he gets it by Rupel. A low angle shot. Vorgang was able to sneak it by Rupel's near post. And it's a 9-2 ball game now. Vorgang has netted both of Maryland's goals to get his 22nd and 23rd on the season. For the redshirt sophomore who's in his second year with the program, spent his true freshman season at Denver. He redshirted and never made an appearance. Now he's playing for the Scarlet Red. It'll be Brock Damaris to come take the face-off with 7:45 left to go. For Rutgers, Dodge back out for the Terps. It's a 9-2 ball game. As Brady Cardilla picks up the assist there too. That's his third of the season. Face off the clamp. There's a fight for it. Ball's on the ground and is going to be picked up by Rutgers. Ryan Splain, the LSM, comes in from the wing to get a big face-off win for Rutgers, who are just trying to cut into this deficit. Solar lobs the pass up to TJ Conley, who's able to cross midfield. Gets it to Colin Cardilla. Down low at X, here's Colin Kelly. Vorgang. Vorgang gets it to Brady Cardilla, who's going to start from the corner of the end zone, initiate a play. He's got Thomas Gravino, the short stick midfielder, who's trailing him as he wraps around X. A quick pass. Vorgang would have had Rupel dead to rights if it didn't hit off his stick. Mongillo's able to pick it up at the 30-yard line. The errant pass, just couldn't corral it. Colin Cardilla now gets another screen. He's at X, guarded by Peter Lake, who's done a great job. Cardilla tries to wrap inside. He's double-teamed by Reese, who picks him up. Lake trying to find his man. Terps trying to communicate. Lake is able to pick up Vorgang. Up top, it's Casey Mongillo. 20 seconds left on the shot clock for Rutgers. Trey Fleece guarding the senior midfielder. Mongillo passes it to Brady Cardilla. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Grayson Vorgang. 6.5 minutes left to play. Here comes Brady Cardilla is being harassed by this Maryland defense. Forgang shoots, the ball's deflected. It goes out of bounds and a shot clock violation. Good defensive recovery from the Terps. As Riley Reese gets it to Rupel to start the clear. Here's Thomas Gravino. Terps can just maintain possession and start winding the clock. It's going to make it a lot harder for Rutgers to get back into this one. Here's Reese. Gets it to Michael Alexander, who crosses midfield. He's going to pass it down to Leo Johnson. Alexander will stay on the offensive side of the field for the time being. Here's Johnson to Urksa. John Traley checks in. Alexander starting to make his way back to the defensive end. That'll make way for Spencer Ford. Here's Traley, the long pass to Ford out of the box. He's at the 30-yard line, right on the numbers. Here's Aiden Aiken. On the left side, right at about the 10. At X is Eric Spanos. Spin dodge on his right hand. Gets a screen from Aiken, and he is harassed by number 23 for Rutgers. That's Andrew Machika. And the ball, a deflected pass, is on the ground. There's a scrum for it. It's picked up by Rutgers. Dylan Groff. Rutgers has strung together a nice couple defensive possessions since that Zach Whittier goal. Here's Machika. Colin Cardilla. Cardilla now guarded by Lake. Tries to wrap around. Trying to move a little bit quickly with some urgency. He's going to slow down now. They try a hidden ball trick. Him and Colin Zeller, but Maryland unfooled. Here's Cardilla. At about the right hash mark of the 40-yard line, closest to the sideline. He makes his way upfield. He's going to wait for subs to check in. Here's Casey Mongillo going downfield. Here's Duke Richmond. Makes his way to the corner of the end zone. 4.5 minutes left to play. 37 seconds left on the shot clock. Maryland leads Rutgers 9-2 in the third quarter. Here's Kolar defending Richmond at X. Richmond tries to spin around. Here's Colin Zeller with it. Rutgers trying to start a lot of these offensive plays from the corner of the end zone near the pylon. Here's Zeller trying to wrap around on Stamos. Forgang shoots, a shot deflected off of Rupel. Ball's outside of the crease. It's picked up by Stamos, who's decked to the ground by Cardilla. Ball is still on the ground. There's a fight for it, and it ends up in the stick of Rupel. Outside his crease, he passes it to Riley Reese, and the Terps are able to get possession back with 4 minutes left. Reese sends a long ball down to the back of the end zone. Once again, Cade Stoller coming out of net. Card and Stoller really testing the patience of this Maryland offense. They were taking their chances. Maryland taking these shots knowing that they'll have a player closest to the end zone. This time it was Spanos. Here's Higgins. Higgins now trying to get downfield on Younger Kiss. Gets it to Spanos at X. Here's Elijah Stobaugh on his left hand. Swim dodge to his right. Dodge. Gets it now to Leo Johnson. Leo Johnson. Spanos shoots. He scores off his right hand. It's 10-2 Maryland. A quick possession for Maryland. And in another goal this quarter, Eric Spanos with a hat trick. His 4th point of the day off the pass from Leo Johnson. And they're able to answer back just a few minutes after Grayson Forgang made it a 9-2 game. It's back to an 8-goal deficit and an 8-goal lead, depending on which side you want to be on. I think I know which one most of the fans in here want to be. It's a timeout on the field, 3:30 left to play. Maryland dominating Rutgers 10-2. We'll be back with you in a moment on WMUC Sports. at the conclusion of the first media timeout of the third quarter. It's been a fast one so far. Already just 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to play here, and it's been all Maryland once again. The big time goal from Eric Spanos extends the Terps lead to 8 goals. It's 10-2 as the 9th ranked Terps are dominating the number 19 Scarlet Knights. If this result stands, it'll be Maryland who will claim the Big Ten regular season title. And if you said that just about a little over a month and a half ago that was going to be the case, I'm sure a lot of Maryland or just lacrosse fans would have told you that you were probably crazy. Some thought that this was going to be the down year for John Tillman. So far, he's proved this has been the exact opposite. Here's Jonah Carrier and Jake Raniero out for the faceoff. Ball's on the ground. Raniero picks up the ground ball. It's a faceoff win for Rutgers. Maryland started this game winning, dominating the faceoff battle. They didn't lose one until the second quarter. It's 11-15 still in favor of the Terps. Nevertheless, it'll be a Rutgers possession here. Trying to get something. Here's Colin Cardilla, passing it down to X. It's Colin Kelly. Here's Grayson Vorgang. Vorgang gets it to Brady Cardilla. Brady Cardilla on his left hand, gets a screen from his brother, gets it over to Colin Cardilla. Cardilla guarded by Lake, also gets a screen from his brother. Playing a little back and forth. 30 seconds left in the shot clock. Cardilla at X now. Passes it off. The quick shot is over the net. It was Casey Mongillo. It'll stay with Rutgers. Colin Kelly's going to take it out of the end zone. 2:32 left to play in the third quarter. 24 seconds left in the shot clock. As Kelly tries to wrap around the crease, Mongillo, pass to Evan Large is deflected. It's going to go out of the back of the end zone, staying Rutgers possession. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Colin Cardilla now. Gets it to Large. Large on his right, guarded by Trey Fleece at the crease. Trying to make his way around. The ball's knocked away by Trey Fleece. A nice defensive possession for Maryland. And Brian Ruppel's going to take it out of net. Here's Urksa. His pass is deflected. Urksa made his way to the defensive end, but he loses the ball. And it's going to go back to Rutgers now. Just under 2 minutes left to play here. Here's Evan Large with it. In his right hand, cradling the ball on his stick. Rutgers moving a little slow. The intensity might need to pick up. James Gardner picking up Large. Here's Duke Richmond. Got Larkin on him. Passes it off to X. He'll find Colin Cardilla. Cardilla, the long pass over the head of Mongillo. Will it get past the midfield line? It won't. Instead, it stays with Mongillo, who's able to pick it back up. Gets downfield, and it's intercepted by A.J. Larkin. Pass was intended for Colin Cardilla. Instead, it's a Terps-caused turnover. Here's Eric Spanos now, off the pass from A.J. Larkin. And the Terps now, with a minute left, have 70 seconds left on the shot clock. They can hold it till the final whistle if they want to. As Spanos brushes off the defender. As Andrew Machika, it's going to be a turnover for the Terps. Here's Carden Stoller now. A long pass to Machika. Disappointing result in that possession for Maryland. Could have prevented Rutgers from scoring a goal. Now Rutgers will have a chance. They can hold it till the final whistle. We'll see if they try to get anything quickly beforehand and win the faceoff. Here's Colin Zeller. 35 seconds left. Looks like the Scarlet Knights are going to take their time. Zeller is going to try to get downhill on Eric Kolar. He's able to get by him. The pass to Colin Cardilla goes awry. It'll roll out of bounds. And an unforced turnover. It'll go straight back to the Terps. 22.7 left to go. So it'll be Riley Reese taking it out. Grayson Vorgang will surely put a lot of pressure on him. It's going to be a quick pass to Aiden Aiken. Aiden Aiken, a long pass to Kolar, takes the bounce pass. 15 seconds left. Kolar running up the right sideline, stays in bounds. He's going to pass it off now. Here comes Maryland. trying to do something quickly. A quick pass to Stamos from Leo Johnson goes awry, and it's going to go out of bounds. So consecutive turnovers for both sides. Rutgers is going to have 3 seconds. The long pass from Ben McKelvey. Ball's going to hit the ground, and that will do it for the third quarter of play. Once again, just 3 combined goals. Maryland has won the first and third quarter by a score of 2-1. But it's that 6-0 second quarter that's going to propel the Terps to an 8-goal lead at the end of 3. Just 15 minutes left to go in regulation here. Maryland dominating Rutgers. It's been wire to wire for John Tillman's squad, and they'll look to finish off a resounding win here after just a few minutes. We'll take a break with you on WMUC Sports and be back with you for the fourth quarter. Back with you now for the final 15 minutes left in regulation. The fourth quarter just about ready to be underway. Here on WMUC Sports, Jackson Wantman here with you on the call. It's been all Maryland so far this evening as the Terps lead Rutgers 10-2. Offensively, defensively, at the face-off X, between the pipes, John Tillman's squad has just dominated. It's culminated in what's going to be Maryland's largest conference win of the season up until this point, if this result stands. It's Carrier out for the faceoff from Maryland. It's a violation, and it'll be Rutgers' possession now to start the quarter. Here's Joe Youngerkiss. Youngerkiss is going to flip it off to Colin Cardilla. Might see a little bit more urgency from Rutgers here in this final frame, as they have to climb an 8-goal mountain. Here's Brady Cardilla. Gets screened from Colin Kelly. Cardilla passes it out to Casey Mongillo. Mongillo to number 50, Colin Zeller. Zeller now working his way towards X. Gets another screen from Kelly, who has to brush off his defender. The quick shot, low angle, won't go. Off the left post. Stamos tries to pick it up, is harassed by multiple Rutgers defenders. It still ends up with Maryland. It was Eric Kolar who got it, and he gets it to A.J. Larkin, who's got a goal already tonight. And Maryland now will start with possession. It's going to be Leo Johnson. And I'm sure we're going to see Maryland hold this one till the end of the shot clock. Most of their possessions here. Here's Spanos to Urksa. Urksa up top now. It's Matt Higgins. Higgins gets downfield. Higgins thought he had an angle, won't take it. Here's Leo Johnson. Passes it up to Stovall, right at the 20-yard line, closest to the Maryland bench. Stovall, a swim dodge on his right, tries to get inside. Slides it off to X. Johnson wraps around, passes it to Chris Lyons. 30 seconds left in the shot clock for the Terps. 90 seconds into this fourth quarter of play here. Here's Braden Urksa. He's on the board tonight. The Lions to Johnson, who fails to get the pass. And here comes Ryan Splain downfield. It's Colin Cardilla now trying to set up some offense. Shane Murphy now in for the Scarlet Knights, his first appearance. Rutgers trying to change it up. A flying Brady Cardilla wasn't able to corral the pass from Vorgang. Maryland's got it back. Outfield now is number 31 in red, Trace Davidson, seeing some run. Here's Eric Spanos. Over to John Draley. Draley to Aiken. Aiken now to Jack Schultz. Midfield line has made their mark today. Here's Draley with it, being guarded by TJ Conley. Under 12.5 minutes left to play here in the game. Regulation, excuse me, barring a large comeback by Rutgers, this will be the only time we have left. Here's Hayden Aiken. A dodge, right to left, switches hands, flips it out now. 25 seconds left on the shot clock for the Terps. Here's Jack Schultz, quick pass to Braden Irk, so he scores. In a bit of a late hit after. Nevertheless, it's a 9-goal lead for Maryland. Schultz is able to get the pass just across the face of Cardin Stoller. And Irksa right in front of the crease, right out of the stick, just as fast as it came in. And with 12:02 left, Maryland is on the board. Continues to dominate the Scarlet Knights. Braden Irksa, boy, what a day he has had. His second goal of the day is also notched 2 assists. Jack Schultz gets on the board for the first time today. And his game is just being blown wide open for Maryland. It'll be Henry Dodge now coming out for the face-off. Just 3 minutes in and we already have a goal. Jack Schultz has his first assist of the season for the sophomore. His Dodge wins the face-off, running around, finds Peter Lake as an outlet. Lake, long pass to Riley Reese on the other side of the field. Reese, a deep pass, try to get it in goal again. It'll go out of bounds. Leo Johnson will stay with it. We've seen Stoller come out of net. Riley Reese multiple times tonight has tried to get that big-time cross-field pass, couldn't convert. Here's Elijah Stobaugh now. 11.5 minutes left to go in regulation. He's guarded by TJ Conley. Stobaugh dodges left to right. Stobaugh gets it to Spanos. Spanos now to Zach Whittier. Thought about the pass, he tries, it's intercepted. Rutgers now, he's gonna start a quick clear. Here's Stoller. TJ Conley, he gets it past midfield. He's going to get it down to Vorgang. Vorgang to Brady Cardilla. Now Colin Cardilla with it. Here's JJ Aiello. Aiello now just to the left of the numbers, a 30-yard line closest to his bench. He dodges left to right. Passes it off to Cardilla, who can't make the play. Couldn't make the quick catch. And a turnover for Maryland. They're going downfield. Here's Thomas Gravino. Passes it to Irksa. Thought he had some time and room. Instead, he's going to take the safer option. And backtrack, start passing it around. Here's Spanos. Back to Irksa. Irksa. Thought about going to John Draley. Instead, Youngerkiss was going to be in front of it. Here's Spencer Ford. Some new subs coming in for the Terps. Here's Johnny Gardiner. Gardiner on his left. Gets it to Ford. Here's Leo Johnson at X. Here's Irksa. Gets the angle, gets inside. Johnson the running catch. Thought he had the angle. Good slide by Rutgers. Here's John Draley. And boy, I don't think he realized the angle that he had. Here's Spanos. Gardiner shoots, he scores! Johnny Gardiner, the sophomore attacker who, as he's sparing playing time this season, makes the most of his opportunity. The top 10 overall prospect from the 24 class scores his second career goal, his first since the opener against Loyola. And boy, Maryland's happy to have that one on the board. John Draley, when he caught that pass down low, his back was turned to the net. I don't think he realized that he probably had a great angle right in front of Cardin Stoller. But Johnny Gardiner is able to convert off the pass. And Maryland extends their lead to 10. It's Eric Spanos. Picks up the assist, who's able to send it to Gardner. With 9:52 left to go, Maryland continues to pile it on. You wonder when we might start seeing some backups coming in for John Tillman's squad. Ball gets out, Dodge wins the clamp, sends it forward, ball still on the ground. It's going to be picked up by Rutgers. Rutgers is going to get it by midfield. Here's Colin Cardillo with it. Over to Shane Murphy. Murphy gets it to Colin Kelly. Colin Zeller also in. Just checking in now is Casey Mongillo. Mongillo on his left. Running towards GLE. He's going to spin back, pass it out to Kelly. Kelly on his right hand, being closely defended by the other Gardner on the team, James Gardner, who's seen a little bit more action than his brother. But both are making an impact in the time that they've had. Here comes Murphy now at X. Under 9 left to play here. Here's Colin Cardilla. Rutgers now trying to swing it around, execute their dodges, but they're running out of time. Here's Mongillo. He's going to spin back, passing it off to Vorgang. Inside, the shot from Shane Murphy goes high. It'll be Cardillo with 14 seconds left on the shot clock, picking it up. He's once again guarded by Lake, who has done an excellent job with this difficult assignment. The exclamation point shot. No good. Off the deflection, off Rupel. And here comes Maryland on the clear. Here's Riley Reese with it. Reese, Rupel now. Rupel to Alexander. Maryland is going to cross midfield. It's Elijah Stovall with it. Right at the Maryland M, Trey Fleece. Was able to get it to James Gardner. Maryland now is going to reset their offense. Here's Draley now, passing it off to Jack Schultz. And Schultz flails on his own pass, but no one near him, so he's able to pick it back up. Here's John Draley, the opposite sideline on the far end. He makes a dodge on Machika on his right hand, gets it to Leo Johnson. Johnson with it on his right. Spins back, now starting to be double covered by this Rutgers defense. Draley couldn't crawl the pass, but Erks able to recover. Here's Schultz. Leo Johnson, 15 seconds left on the shot clock for Maryland, halfway through the fourth quarter. The quick pass inside of the crease. Maryland can't pick it up. Ball still on the ground. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and Maryland picks it up. A big-time hit. Johnny Gardner fell to the ground. And Maryland is able to pick it back up with a reset shot clock. Rutgers had possession. Maryland gets it back. And just another brutal break. This Rutgers team that has just found little success in any facet of the game today. Here's Spanos, Spencer Ford. Chris Lyons also checking in for Maryland. Here's Matt Higgins with it. Higgins on his right hand, gets downfield, dumps it off to Braden Erksa. Erksa to Spencer Ford. Here's Stovall. Spinning. Surveying the rest of the field. Here's Erksa. Higgins fires around, shot goes wide. Maryland was closest to it. Out of the back of the end zone is Maryland now in the back corner. It'll be Leo Johnson, referee, directing him where to be. 6:27 left to play in the game. Maryland is going to dump it, and John Tillman looks like he's going to call a timeout here. So 6:27 left to play. Both teams are going to get a chance to talk it over. Maryland well on its way to securing the Big Ten regular season title. And they hope to be able to do that in the last few minutes of play here. We'll be back with you in a moment on WMUC Sports. Back with you out of the timeout. It was actually Rutgers who called the timeout. It was Brian Brecht wanting to talk things over with his team. Rutgers faces a 10-goal deficit with 6.5 minutes left to play here. It's Leo Johnson now, 30 seconds left on the shot clock. He runs his way to X, spins back near the right post. The long pass. Here's Urksa to Chris Lyons. Lyons under 20 left to go in this possession. He runs all the way around the crease, tries to get the inside angles, harassed, he scores, but they're gonna say he was in the crease. It's a no goal. Good defense from Rutgers. Lyons was able to get the angle, just had a foot or two inside. Cardin Stoller's gonna start the clear for Rutgers. Here's Ben McKelvey. A long toss to Connor Udovic. Crosses midfield, running up the right sideline. He's gonna get it to Grayson Vorgang. Vorgang now, and the referees stop play. They look like they want to talk something over. Both teams now going to the sideline. Let's see what the call is. John Tillman having a conversation with the referees about something. Both teams are going to converge here. Trying to get a read for you on why exactly play was stopped. Referees aren't going to the monitor. It looks like it's the timeout might have been called. Nevertheless, we'll stick with you here on WMEC Sports. Jackson Wantman here. Just me on the call today, but glad to have you from wherever you are listening from. Maryland in its last regular season game at home. That looks like it won't be the case in terms of being the last game at home, period, for the rest of the season from Maryland. Barring a 10-11 goal swing in the last 5 minutes and 57 seconds, Maryland will clinch the Big Ten regular season title. We'll be able to host the Big Ten quarterfinal game at home here. And if all goes well, we could potentially see Maryland host an NCAA tournament game. Would be a phenomenal turnaround for John Tillman's squad that started out the season 1-3, just looked a little lethargic at times, couldn't figure it out offensively. Defensively, they were getting broken down. Fans were screaming for Logan McNaney to find some way to get another year of eligibility. But boy, this team has found something in itself. They've turned this season around. They picked up quality wins over Virginia, over Michigan, over Ohio State last week. And it's going to be another ranked win here for the Terps. Barring anything crazy as both teams break their huddles. It'll be Rutgers' possession here with a timeout from John Tillman. That was the call. Looked like there was some confusion between him and the referees, thus the confusion from up here in the booth. But Tillman wanted to look things over with his squad. Just under 6 minutes left to play here. Rutgers has got it. Grayson Vorgang starting with it right at about the 20-yard line on the far sideline. He's going to pass it to the corner. That's where he'll find Colin Kelly. Passes it to Casey Mongillo. Mongillo to Vorgang. To Brady Cardilla. Cardilla on his right hand. Spin to his left. Swim dodge to his right. Quick inside pass is intercepted by Maryland. It's A.J. Larkin again. What a day he's had. Peter Lake is able to grab a stick on it as well. And it's Lake who's had the tough assignment and the pressure of guarding Colin Cardilla, who will likely be an All-American this year in some capacity. And boy, has he stifled the junior attackman. Makes a play there as well. Here's Johnny Gardiner. Here's Luca Ward now checking in, and the substitution starting to come in for the Terps. Here's John Draley. Spencer Ford also in along with Hamish McPherson, Matt Higgins. Most of the regulars out of this one. Boy, have they earned their rest. A dominating offensive performance from the Terps. As we're 5 minutes left to play, just under, approaching 4.5. Here's Luca Ward, the junior out of Montclair, New Jersey. Up top now, here's Johnny Gardiner. Dodges to his right, takes the shot, deflected off a Rutgers defender. It's going to go out of bounds, staying with Maryland. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Maryland looking for something here. Higgins thought about wrapping around goal. The pass to Spencer Ford hits the ground. Here comes TJ Conley. Crossing midfield. He's going to get it to Grayson Vorgang. Has scored both goals for Rutgers today. Here's Ben McKelvey. Cross midfield. He's going to make his way back to the defensive end. Here's Colin Kelly behind X. Cardilla at GLE. Gets it over to Casey Mongillo. Under 4 minutes left to play. Mongillo tries to get inside. He's at X now by himself, guarded by number 4, James Gardiner. Mongillo flips it out to Colin Cardilla. 37 seconds left on the shot clock for Rutgers. 3.5 left to go in regulation. Vorgang out to JJ Aiello. Aiello on his right, on his left. Single hand dodge, turns, passes it back out to Vorgang, gets it inside to Kelly. That was Colin Zeller with it, and he passes it out now to Mongillo. 13 seconds left for the Scarlet Knights to try to get something out of this possession. The quick pass, the shot from Kelly, deflected, goes overhead, staying with Rutgers. They have 7 seconds left on the shot clock. It's going to be Colin Cardilla in the black and gold flag, part of the end zone. 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left. A quick shot. Aiello is decked to the ground by Maryland's defenders. It's defense. I know I used suffocating earlier in the broadcast as an adjective to describe their performance in this game. I'm not sure what other word best qualifies as the best adjective to use for Maryland's performance today defensively. Here's Finn Hoth. And the subs fully in for Maryland. Here's Schultz to Luca Ward to Johnny Gardiner with it now. 2.5 minutes left to play here for Maryland. And players looking to get their first few goals of the season. Here's Luca Ward. Down at X is Gardiner. On his right, switches to his left, trying to find a cutting Terp. Spins around, shot goes wide. 30 seconds left in the shot clock, 2:08 left in the game. Out of the corner of the end zone. Here comes Maryland now, wrapping around. Here's Hoth to Jack Schultz. 20 seconds left. Here's Gardiner, has a little bit of an angle, wraps around right into the stick of Carden Stoller. Heavy pressure from Spencer Ford. He's going to have to get it out. Under 2 minutes left to play. And here comes Stoller running downfield. We'll see if he tries to take a shot. He does. It's deflected. Maryland's got it. They have an open net if they so choose. Rutgers defenders close in on it. And running out with it is Trey Brown. And Maryland will be able to hold the ball until about 20 seconds left on the shot clock. It's going to be a resounding victory for John Tillman's squad, who many people have been critical of this season. Here's Finn Hoth. Tosses it up to Draley. Minute 11 left to play, approaching 60 seconds. Downfield. Here's Hoth now at about GLE. Comes inside near Crease, right next to the post. Here's Gardiner. Swinging it around up top. Here's Draley. Passes it out to McPherson to Luca Ward. The left-handed shot saved by Stoller. Almost went in. Snuck through the legs of the Rutgers goalie, but he's able to pick it up. 43 seconds left. We'll see what Rutgers decides to do with this. And Maryland gets possession back. I'm sure it'll be the last time it touches the stick of Rutgers. It was a wire-to-wire game for Maryland. A quiet first quarter for both teams, but Maryland used a 6-0 second quarter to propel them. Here's Cardilla. Over to Aiello. 15 seconds left. Aiello dumps it off. Here comes Vorgang. The shot from Colin Kelly misses. It'll go to the back of the end zone. Staying with Rutgers, but that'll about do it. I believe the saying goes, you come for the king, you best not miss. And that's been the story of Maryland lacrosse. Some teams thought they had them down, but it's not going to work. Maryland are your Big Ten regular season champions in 2026. Just when you thought that this might be the down year for Maryland lacrosse, and that this team that has so much talent between transfers, returners, new recruits, wouldn't get the job done. Boy, did they prove the doubters wrong. And after the results today, Maryland on this very field at Seacoast Stadium will get to lift the Big Ten Champs Trophy and clinch the #1 seed in the upcoming Big Ten tournament. Fueled by a hat trick from Eric Spanos, a brace from Braden Urksa, strong performance from Leo Johnson, multiple goals off the bench. Maryland is able to get the job done. And they're going to be set up for another fantastic edition of the rivalry next week at Homewood Field as they'll take on Johns Hopkins, who are going to be coming in angry, trying to avenge the loss they took today against Ohio State. And boy, that game always has a lot to it. Myself and Ryan Martin will be there on the call for you. But that'll do it here from Seacoast Stadium. Maryland clinches the Big Ten regular season title with a 12-2 win over number 19 Rutgers. For Jackson Wantman here on WMUC Sports, thank you for listening. Once again, this is your Terps, your station.